games.
Atlanta's ready to trade Dejounte Murray. They have given some time to the Trae Young, Dejounte Murray backcourt. I think they're ready to move on from it. Dejounte Murray is the player that they're engaged around the league with, and they have talked to the Lakers. They've exchanged some ideas on a potential trade.
What is going on, Laker fans? Welcome back to the All Lakers channel. There is a ton of news we have to talk about today, always popping out in Lakerland. And really excited to see you guys back in here, giving us the views, giving us love. So make sure you tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, everything that is going to help us a ton. But it's a very important day because as you guys are watching this, we will be 2 ways a day from January 15th, where most notably D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura will be made available to trade. The Lakers have also reportedly made a decision on the future of head coach Darvin Ham, and they are in trade talks with an Eastern Conference team right now. But first off, my name is Noel. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Noise by Noel. I'm joined by none other than All Lakers lead editor Alex Kirschbaum. Alex, how are you doing today? How are you doing today, and what has Lakers basketball been like for you to watch recently?
I'm doing well. Lakers basketball has been interesting to watch for me recently. I did not see this coming. I really I guess I'll just talk about it really fast. Like I think that the Lakers are 5-11 in their last 16 games since the in-season tournament, and it's a free fall. And they've been using excuses like injuries and stuff, but their 3 best players have been pretty much healthy the entire time. So like, I don't know that the injury bug is really a fair thing when the Suns are missing one of their big 3 almost at all times. And other teams have major issues. So I just Celtics are missing bodies and stuff and still kicking ass. The Heat are missing people and still playing really well. So I feel like it's not really an excuse. The offense has just been bad, and the defense has been pretty decent, not amazing, but like pretty good. Because we'll get into why actually in a second. But yeah, it's been an interesting time, and I am kind of shocked that the Lakers are so mediocre. They are 19-20 as we record this.
I mean, yeah, you had that win over the Clippers not too long ago, and that's really the only bright spot in a while that I could think about. It's been a really, really tough road on the road and at home. I mean, everybody was looking at this month of January as kind of a way for the Lakers to get back on track before the trade deadline because they have so many games at home. They don't have to travel too much until the end of the month. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. And seeing that we are so close to the trade deadline, it means that the Lakers are going to be in rumor after rumor. Me and you were talking about this before the beginning of the season, and we were hoping that this was going to be a season where not too many moves were going to go down. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell was giving a very tradable contract, so we thought if anything, he was going to play his way into being on their team potentially, maybe Rui Hachimura as well. But now it kind of looks like everybody outside of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reaves is just up for take. Anybody could come in with an offer, and those 3 are pretty much the only 3 that are untouchable. And specifically when it comes to Austin Reaves, Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports has reported that the Lakers are telling other teams that they do not want to move Austin. And this makes a lot of sense. He's on a very budget-friendly contract, only making $54 million over the next 4 years. And with his production, his playmaking, that is definitely a steal right there. He has a great relationship with LeBron James, and he's really the second ball handler on the team right now with D'Angelo Russell struggling. So, Alex, my question for you is, do you believe Austin Reaves will be a Laker after the trade deadline, and do you believe that that is in LA's best interest to not move him?
It's a good question. Yes and no. I believe that he will be on the roster after the deadline, and no, I don't think it's in LA's best interest. I think that he's awesome for what he is, and he's got that all-star, that one-time all-star upside kind of thing, and he's on a great contract. But LeBron James is 39 years old. Anthony Davis is 30, but an old 30. So I, came into the league when he was 1 year out of school at Kentucky. So I just feel like he's their best trade chip if they're not going to move off of Davis or James. Which also, by the way, they totally could. I think you get a lot of value for one of those guys too. But if you don't want to do that, I think Reaves makes a lot of sense. And no team wants D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura. That one pick is appetizing, right? That they could offer in 2029 or 2030, but Reaves is the best, maybe only decent tradable piece on this roster right now. There are guys whose contract extensions kick in next year, like Vanderbilt. Actually, I guess it's just Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah, Vando can't be moved this year.
It's just Vanderbilt. Yeah, you can't trade him this year. And also, he's been bad. So
yeah, I'm not sure many teams will be looking at Jared Vanderbilt this season and thinking like, hey, let's go make a move for him. It's not last season.
He's been rough. And then other contracts like Torian Prince's contract you could trade, but like also he's pretty valuable for what he is for that money. So why would you want to move him? Vince has been bad. Vince has barely played. So I think that Reeves is the guy to trade that other teams are going to want. And so it's a question of how desperate are the Bulls to get off of Zach LaVine's money. Now Zach LaVine has been really good in like the 2 games he's played since he came back from that 2-month injury absence where he was trying to get traded basically. And I don't know what the Bulls are going to do. The Bulls hate making trades generally, so I think they're not going to move him, which would be stupid. I think they should move him. It's Kobe White's world now. We're all just living in it. But I think that like for the Bulls to want to move off of Zach LaVine, they're going to have to be not blown away, but they're going to have to get a guy back they think is a young piece because they don't draft that well. So they're going to want like someone under team control with all-star upside, which is Austin Reaves. No one wants D'Angelo Russell. That's the other thing about D'Angelo Russell too, is like that is not a tradable contract. $17.3 million for a guy coming off the bench that you can't trust in clutch moments. Like I don't even know. Like, can he be like a Jordan Clarkson kind of energy scorer? Like that's the idea now with him being a bench player, but it's tough. So Austin Reaves is a good player, and it's not going to be the end of the world if the Lakers do keep him. I just think that they're gonna take themselves out of a lot of trade conversations because they don't have a lot of draft equity to trade. So like having a young guy on a good contract is like, their first or second best trade chip along with that 2029 pick. So I think that if they don't move off him, they're not going to get an all-star back, basically.
No, yeah, definitely. I think you bring up a lot of great points, and you take a look at Austin Reaves, and he had his moments at the beginning of the season where he was struggling to find identity. And I really do think, what if there was a world where instead of the Lakers opening the season with Austin Reaves and D'Angelo Russell as their starting backcourt, what if you had just made Austin Reaves your starting point guard and you put D'Angelo Russell on the bench since the beginning? I know the idea was to have D'Lo as the starter to prove that he was going to be able to bounce back from his rough playoff outing against the Denver Nuggets last season, and also two, to potentially boost his trade value and hopefully get some team interested in him once the deadline rolled around. But Austin Reaves, the biggest reason that he was struggling at the beginning of the year was because he didn't know if he was supposed to be playmaking or scoring like he was last year. So I think if you had made Reaves the starting point guard off the jump, he would have been able to ease into that secondary ball handling role or even primary ball handling role next to LeBron James. LeBron wouldn't have had to do so much off rip, and D'Lo would have been accustomed to playing with those guys off the bench at the beginning. Because now you're in this thing where reports are coming out that Darvin Ham is losing the locker room. A number of guys are unhappy with their roles, and they don't really know what's going on. Rui Hachimura is either playing 13 minutes one game or 30 minutes another game. Christian Wood was on DMPs for so long. He finally comes back in. Now he's getting shots up. Jackson Hayes, he was having a pretty big role with the team, and now he's in a similar role to Christian Wood was before.
Well,
so
he's not that good. I think
no,
that's
he's
right.
not. No, he fouls crazy amount. But I'm just saying that I think Darvin Ham, he either has guys playing a ton or just none at all, and that just messes with players' heads. That's the biggest thing that I think. And it started at the beginning of the year. You put D'Lo and Austin Reaves in the backcourt. Like, yes, those guys, talented offensive guys when they're on, but I mean, on defense, it's been ugly. It's been very, very ugly. And I think that's why Darvin Ham pivoted to that 1980s, 1990s style where you have, LeBron James, Anthony Davis surrounded by a bunch of guys that defend but can't really shoot, can't really do anything on offense. And I mean, you look at the Lakers this season, their defense, it hasn't been horrible, like you were saying. You have bright spots. You have Cam Reddish and Vando, who, are primarily in the game, or 99% of the game for their defense. But most recently, they're struggling to guard opposing team shooters, and they're really, really struggling when it comes to letting guys get open threes. They are 21st in the league in opponent three-point percentage, allowed at 37%. And teams have also gone up an average of 37 threes a game against them, and they're making 14 a game. They're giving up the most three-pointers per game in the entire league, and we all know that the Lakers aren't shooting anywhere near the best either. And I hate to say it, but Reaves has been getting hunted on defense in the past couple of games. Most notably, we saw what happened against the Phoenix Suns, where Bradley Beal had one of his best games since returning from injury finally. And he either just got taken in ISO by their superstars, or when other guys would be able to get to the rim or to the paint, Reaves would overhelp and just leave other shooters open. So I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying that he's a cone on defense or anything, but it just goes to show that he's still in that identity crisis on the Lakers. And he's starting to get his groove back. We see that he cooks up when he gets the ball. He gets the oohs and ahs when he's cooking. But I'm thinking, maybe it could be best for him to be moved. It could be best for the Lakers to potentially look at that Dejounte Murray move, maybe, or that Zach LaVine deal, like you were talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
do you see Reeves? So we're talking about the Lakers right now, but let's take a step back. Do you think it would be better for Reeves' career to be on another team?
No, the Lakers. It's like the Kuzma effect. The Lakers are such a big deal that they're gonna make a good role player kind of have all these kind of crazy opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. I think like Kuzma's making like $102 million right now, and like he's on a team that's won, I don't know, 5 games. Like,
Yeah.
he's the best player on one of the worst teams in the history of the league. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not that amazing. So I just feel like, I mean, he's fine. He's a fine starter.
But do
But
you think that just because of the situation he went to, though? Because I remember before the Phoenix Suns last year got Kevin Durant, they were really interested in Kyle Kuzma, and I was very curious to see how that would have worked out because there was still CP3, Aiton, KD, Booker. I mean, maybe Aiton would have got moved in that deal. Maybe CP3 would have got moved, but I mean, essentially it would have been KD, Booker, Kuzma. I think that would have been pretty interesting.
that's fair. You know what? That's fair. Maybe I shouldn't, like, he's never gonna be an all-star, right?
Yeah.
He
If he's
we
not on the
saw
Lakers,
the
then yeah,
Lakers when they
Reeves
won in
wouldn't be an all-star.
2020. He was the seventh, sixth best guy on that team, sixth best guy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. So like fifth best guy, whatever. Let's go with sixth best guy on that title team. So like that's what maybe his ceiling is fourth best guy on the title team or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that's what Reeves is, and I thought he could be third, and I don't think that anymore. But he could be the fourth best guy. But yeah, I think another team's going to overvalue. I hope that another team's going to overvalue him. He looked so great in the playoffs last year and at the end of the season when he was the full-time starter. So, and now he's the full-time starter again after Ham's weird experimentation, like you said, with toggling him and Russell in the starting lineup. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good question. I think that I think it might be like the Wizards with Kuzma, it might be a context thing. But like if he goes to the Bulls, that's actually pretty interesting because the Bulls could really use more playmaking
Yeah.
next to
Ever
Kobe
since
White.
Lonzo went down, yeah, they've been looking for that point guard.
Because Kobe White's not a traditional point guard. He's like a score first point guard. But like they're using DeMar DeRozan as more of a facilitator now, which is kind of interesting, and less of like the go-to scorer. So if the Bulls kept DeMar DeRozan, got rid of Zach, got Reeves, and Hachimura back in a deal or something, yeah, I think that would look pretty good. So yeah, if he goes to an East team, he could look really good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. No, definitely. I mean, I personally, it's tough. It's definitely tough because I think a lot of Laker fans, including myself, they've grown this bond to Austin Reaves, and you want to see him coming from being undrafted, from being that guy that just got in the game, fan favorite, and then just being such a key part of that Western Conference Finals run. So we're gonna see what happens, but as I mentioned earlier, the Lakers are in talks with the Eastern Conference team right now, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, and that is the Atlanta Hawks. Woj was on ESPN NBA today and revealed that the two teams have been in contact discussing what a Dejounte Murray trade to LA could look like. I mean, Alex, what are your immediate reactions to that?
We talked about this last time a little bit, but I really like theoretically that fit. Murray's a better defender than Reeves. He's more. You can play more of a traditional point guard, although he doesn't have to be the point guard. Although I think he would be on this Lakers team actually. He's big. He's 6'5". He's been an all-star before, but that was with a lottery-bound Spurs team. But I think he's a more established, like third banana type that could be played alongside LeBron and AD with a track record of 3 seasons of scoring 20 or more points and pretty good volume 3-point shooter. This year he's shooting 39.4% from deep on 6.1 tries. Reeves is 34.3 on 4.6 tries. Now, some of that is that Reeves, was playing bench minutes, so there might be more attempts. But the shooting efficiency rate, though, is pretty exceptional for Murray. So yeah, I like the move. Also, he's cheap. Like his contract is like equivalent to D'Angelo Russell's money, which is insane. I don't
Yeah,
understand
he's
how.
making $18 million this year, and then over the next 4 seasons, the least he'll make is $25 million, and the most he'll make in the final year is $30 million. So, I mean, for the services he provides, 21 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in 36 games this year, I think definitely that's great value for what he does.
That's a steal because like right now, if he was a free agent this summer, he'd make like $50 million a year or whatever it is. So yeah, because of the way that the cap is rising and stuff. So I think that, yeah, I think he's a great fit. I like him more than Zach for the Lakers. He's cheaper than Zach. He's younger than Zach. He's a better defender than Zach. he fits the need more. Now, the one thing is Zach is an elite shooter at all three levels, but Murray is a pretty good shooter. Doesn't get at the foul line a ton, but 3-point shooting is right there, so I think it's fine. I think the fit is actually cleaner, so
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that move a
definitely.
lot.
No, definitely. I mean, and with unfortunately Gabe Vincent, being out for so long, first with that initial injury and now with the surgery that he underwent for his knee, you don't have that guard that other than of course Jared Vanderbilt and Cam Reddish, you don't have that actual guard who can handle the ball and also hold his own on the defensive end. We talked about this multiple times, but Murray, ever since he tore his ACL, he's not the same all defense player that he was before. But I mean, when you're facing a Jamal Murray, a Steph Curry, a Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Murray can definitely hold his own, seeing that he's not going to have to do as much on offense as he was doing on his previous teams. You still have LeBron James, Anthony Davis doing the thing. Anthony Davis is having one of the best years of his career. LeBron James, his numbers have taken a dip because he's played a lot more point guard in recent games. But you got to remember when D'Lo was playing better at the beginning of the year and LeBron was just focusing on playing that power forward position, he was doing great. So, yeah, I think Murray would be a very, very clean fit. And something that's in the Lakers' favor is that Atlanta is reportedly ready to move on from him. They're calling up teams asking, hey, do you want to take Murray off our hands? It's not like the Lakers are trying to get a deal done and they're the ones approach them first.
I want to look at their record. Like, they're out of the play-in race right now.
Yeah, they're bad. They're like 15. I think they have like 15, 16 wins.
15 and 22. Okay, so they're like the
22.
11th seed right now, but like the Raptors are right there too. So they could be easily the 12th seed by the end of the year if they do nothing. So it does make sense to break up the Murray Trae Young backcourt. Although it is weird that they want to move on from the better player. Like, sorry, Trae Young, but that guy.
But no, actually,
that guy
Trae
can't
Young
play
is
defense.
playing really good right now. This season,
On
he's playing
offense.
really good.
I know he's averaging like 30 points and 10 assists or whatever, but like that guy, I don't know. He's one of the worst defenders in the NBA. I would take the cheaper contract and the better defender. But
No, yeah, that contract is humongous for Trae, for sure.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And like I don't know. I mean, he's been relatively healthy and he's like very flashy and his game is fun, but like does it lead to wins? Except for that one run to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021, not so much. Anyway, though, yeah, I think you like sort of talked me into it. Yeah, I'm pretty down for this Murray trade. I think this is actually a pretty good idea. If they can, but there's no way, right, that the Hawks would be like, we'll take back D'Angelo Russell, Andrew Hachimura, and a pick, right?
That's so this is where a Zach Lowe report comes out, because Zach Lowe was in contact with an NBA executive, and basically he was trying to see how could the Lakers get this deal done, because that's the big question right now. Like you said, like would the Hawks take on D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, maybe a Max Christie, a Jalen Hood-Schifino, maybe one of those 2029 or 2030 picks.
That's a good point. You got to throw in a young guy that's like promising, so maybe Christie.
So that's where it comes in, where, like I'm telling you, the Hawks, they're the ones on people's phones trying to get Murray out of town. So basically, Lowe said that an executive told him that there's a deal flowing around right now where the Lakers could also get Bogdanovich and Clint Capella in that package. And he said it would be very complicated. It would take Hachimura, Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and draft compensation. I mean, those are two guys that have been in the playoffs. They've had their own runs. Bogdanovich, he's a shooter. He lacks no confidence behind the line. And Capella, even though he's not the same guy he was back in Houston when he was with James Harden, he's still a serviceable center, and the Lakers need that backup five right there.
Capella's like pretty expensive. Capella's making like $20 million. Yeah, but is it an expiring deal?
Capella, he only has two more years left on his deal. He makes $20 million this year, $22 million next year.
It's just a weird fit with Davis because he's like a rim rolling center and Davis can't shoot, so like they're not going to share the floor that much.
They wouldn't play together. Capella would strictly come in as a reserve big, I would think.
I mean, I know that like the Hawks, it makes sense they want to move on from him and make Okongwu the guy at center, even though he's like 6'8". But I like Capella a lot. I don't love him on the Lakers. Why not like more shooting? Like for instance, I'm blanking on the guy's name. The Hawks guy. You know what I'm talking about? The Hawks guy they traded to Utah over the summer. Who's been bad on Utah?
Oh, John Collins.
John Collins. Thank you. Yes, exactly. That guy. Well, not this year's version, but like last year's. Well, not even last year. 2 years ago, John Collins. Would be a great fit on this Lakers team. Athletic, kind of like a junior Kuzma sort of.
Actually. Yeah. Well, John Collins has actually been playing center for the Jazz recently, and then they've actually finally been putting together. So they're like like 14 and they're like 12-4 over the last 16 games, and they just slaughtered the Nuggets. So I see the vision with John Collins. I definitely
Wow.
do.
They're 19-20 right now, I know, and closing fast on the Lakers, who are also 19-20.
Yeah, and we're gonna see them when this recording comes out. We're gonna see them today.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a very, very big game. But I mean, okay, so Capella, you're kind of. What do you think about Bogdanovich? The
Yeah,
Lakers
but
being-
Bogdanovich makes a lot of sense. Isn't there couldn't they? Well, I don't think they want to take DeAndre Hunter or something like that, right?
I don't think so. And Hunter
Yeah.
got his extension already, right?
Yeah, he got his extension. I don't know when that kicked. I don't know when that happened though. Was that this summer or last summer? Because if it was this summer, then they can't trade him. But if it was last summer, then they.
I think it was this summer. I want to say.
Okay. Well, anyway, Jalen Johnson, obviously they're not gonna move, right? I guess Trae Young, they're pretty attached to, right? So who on the Hawks? I don't know, but a shooting big man would be really a nice fit. I mean, the Lakers already have a shooting big man, I guess, and Christian Wood is playing actual minutes alongside Davis. So,
But he's a power forward. That's the thing. The Lakers, they need a big to actually man the paint when Anthony Davis leaves the floor. And like you said, Jackson Hayes, he can't defend without fouling right now. That's his biggest issue. And then on offense, very, very limited.
He's so raw.
Yep.
He's so raw. But yeah, okay, all right. I guess overpay for Capella as your backup, $20 million center. It's not a great allocation of resources. If you're the Lakers and you're committing almost $50 million to two dudes. So that's the part I don't like. But Bogdanovich, yeah, Bogdanovich makes a lot of sense. He can handle. He can shoot. You can play with a three maybe.
Yeah.
So all three perimeter positions. So yeah, I think he's a great 6-man kind of guy, Swiss Army knife. So
yeah, and then you also take a look at his contract, and it's one of the best value contracts in the league as well. He's going to make $18 million this year, and it only goes down from there. Next year, $17.2 million. The year after that, in 2025, $16 million, and then 2026-2027 season, they have a team option for $16 million.
Wow.
So yeah, he provides buck for his bang for sure. And I always remember Giannis when everybody thought Bogdanovich was going to the Bucks when there was some tampering issue going on. Giannis said that he saw him as someone that he would go to war with in the playoffs. So I think that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a good fit. I think he'd be fun, and they need so much more shooting. So they have Patty Mills. That's
on Atlanta.
Yeah.
Interesting. That could be something. How old is he now? He's late 30s, right?
He's got well, he may even be younger than me, but he's still old as fuck. Let's see. Wait, can we swear on this? My bad.
No, go for it. Sorry.
He's 35, so yeah, he's a year younger than me. But
he's been in the league for a while. I thought he was much older. But yeah, so that's the trade package flowing around right now.
Saddiq Bey. But Saddiq Bey's contract is really good. I probably don't want to trade Saddiq Bey.
I don't think that'd
be a much better fit than Capella,
No, for sure. But yeah, that's the package flowing around Twitter right now. I think you take a look at what the Lakers did last year, where just a complete overall got a lot of new faces in town, and the result was a completely different season after that. So I don't think we're gonna see something exactly like that, where it was kind of like the perfect move at the right time, and you got a lot of new energy in town. But I think a move like this, you get Murray, who I think, everybody's talking about the Lakers curse where shooters come in when they're shooting career highs and then it just tanks. I don't think he would shoot 39% still the whole season, because just looking at his track record, he's never been able to consistently do that. But if he could be around 35% and then defend at a high level for us and just give LeBron James a break, I think that's a W in itself. And then you add in Bogdanovich, who's going to be spotting up and shooting, Capella, who's a little bit expensive but can hopefully give Davis a break, and then who knows, Murray and him already have chemistry, so they could be running the pick and roll together. I think that's one of the best deals that I've seen come out from any insider, and if I had to choose one, I'm definitely taking that one.
Yeah, I'm just bummed on behalf of Capella, because he could start on a couple of teams. He could start on the Bulls. He's still got value, so it'd be a bummer for him to languish playing 15 minutes a night on the Lakers. But yeah, he would be a great backup. That's true.
True, and I mean
overqualified.
Yeah, no, I think about it too on the fact that it's been a while since he's competing for a championship. It's been a while since those Houston Rockets teams where he was putting up some of the best numbers of his career. And to be fair, he came to Atlanta. He had stretches where he was playing very well.
Yeah.
but unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out over there. So even though he would be taking, a pretty big minutes cut, I think he's still making his money. He has 2 more years to live in LA, make the $20 million each season, and you would definitely be competing for a title. I think if your starting lineup is looking like Murray, who would be a starting shooting guard? Would you keep Cam
Reeves.
or?
Reeves.
Well, Reeves will be gone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reeves. Oh, sorry. We get rid of Reeves and D'Lo in this deal.
Yeah, Reeves and
Oh
D'Lo.
shit. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
So it'd be Cam.
Not Cam. No, Prince.
Prince.
No, dude. I don't want to start Cam. Absolutely not.
Okay, so who's shooting guard?
So it's Prince. So Torian Prince, right? They hold on Torian Prince. So it's Dejounte Murray at point. Torian Prince at the 2. I
Vando?
guess. I don't
See
like
this,
that.
but this is where
LeBron at the 3, Hachimura at the 4, and
no,
Davis
this is where it gets this is where the deal gets interesting.
Hachimura is in the deal. Fuck, you're right.
Yeah, because so this is Lowe said that the deal would include Hachimura, Russell, draft compensation, and it's either draft compensation or Jalen Hood-Schifino and Reeves.
Okay.
That's where it gets interesting. That's where the big question comes in. Where do you gut this depth for these guys? Wait, Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich is our guy.
He could start at the 3. Yeah, that actually works. Yeah,
Bogdanovich. I say Bogdanovich at the 2, Torian Prince at the 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Prince is bigger. Yeah, okay.
LeBron at the 4, Davis at the 5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Because then you stab Max Christie off the bench, so he'll be the main guy coming in to let Bogdanovich come in, and he could defend. Hopefully, he gets a bigger 3-and-D role off the bench.
Right.
Stab Christian Wood coming in. You have Capella coming in. Reddish coming in.
That's not bad. I mean, you probably want a little more shooting, but it's not bad.
It's not at all. And I think if you upgrade to Dejounte Murray and then you have Bogdanovich, who will be your sharpshooter, then you just target hopefully the buyout market. You're able to get a shooter.
Yeah.
I think that's really where it comes in.
Notice we did not mention Vando in our bench.
We did not.
Because man.
Yeah, no, it's been rough. It has been rough. We'll probably have a whole different video for Vando in the future, talking about what his outlook with the team looks like, because obviously he can't be moved, but
Vincent. Could they flip Vincent's contract? Would anyone want it at this point? I feel like he's had a bad start. He's been hurt though, so it's like the last time we saw him healthy, he was in the finals as a starter. So maybe
the thing with Vincent is teams already have their film on him. Thankfully, it's not really like a Kendrick Nunn situation where he was hooping for a bit with Miami, but not really equating to wins. Gabe Vincent played a major role in the Heat making their run to the finals. And
he's a great defender.
Yeah, great defender. I mean, good, just a good backup point guard, starting guard on some teams. So I do think there's a world where he could get moved, but at this point, I think D'Lo is definitely the guy getting moved, 100%.
In this deal, yeah. I'm just trying to think of how they shore up their bench and get more shooting or whatever. If this deal were to happen, because there's not quite enough bench shooting. There's just Christie.
Yeah, I think in that case, because Gabe, he's on the mid-level exception, right?
Yeah.
So Gabe's on the mid-level exception. So if you trade JHS in that Murray deal, then you could attach the draft pick to Gabe Vincent in a separate deal for a shooter.
No, the Hawks are gonna want the pick. Right. Well,
no,
I guess because of Reeves. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Hood-Schifino's shown us nothing, right? We don't know what he is. Like, he could be good, but we don't know yet.
No, 100%.
Because he got hurt early, and then he just didn't make the rotation when he came back. That's a good question. I don't know. I think the Hawks are probably gonna want to pick, but maybe the Lakers can say no. You're getting Reeves, who's a really good player, and that's and then Jalen Hood-Schifino is the young talent that you take a gamble on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this is definitely the package that hopefully we hear more about. Hopefully we hear more reports coming out what the Hawks want, what the Lakers are willing to offer. Like I said, we're just a couple of days away from both Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell becoming available to be traded. So that's something to keep an eye out for. We're going to have plenty more updates as the Lakers continue to go through this month of January heading into February. So first off, make sure you go tap in with alllakers.com. Alex and the rest of our editorial staff put out great content every single day. The best news, the latest updates on the roster that you're going to want to know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, support me and Alex over here. Alex, thank you, my guy, for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Noel.
Yes, sir. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Go Lakers.
Go Lakers.